This is connection.
And now I can. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punaha. Ishavasya sarvam yatkinchi jagityam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magrida kasya siddhanam. So we are going to do Ishavasya Upanishad. You know, Ishavasya Upanishad, it is said it has come from Shukla Yajurveda. We have two Yajurvedas, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. That's not important for you. What is important is Ishavasya Upanishad talks about the topic, the Brahman. Its topic, in fact, here, Isha means Ishte iti eat, tena Isha. It is said, Ishavasya mityadayaha mantraha karmasu aviniyuktaha. The very first statement of Bhagavan Shankaracharya is that Ishavasya Upanishad's Vedanta is unconnected to Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda is a realm of rituals. It's a part of Veda. It's a part of Veda. It's a topic of rituals, prayers, worships, physical worships, mental worships, etc. But Vedanta is unconnected to rituals, prayers, worships, upasanas, etc. Vedanta is solely the topic. It points out the fact of your existence. It is a statement of, it only points out what is evident, self-evident. And that way, the Vedanta, the Ishavasya Upanishad is something, it is unconnected to Karma Kanda, unconnected to prayers and worships, etc. Even the Vedantis pray, but the topic of Vedanta is not prayer. In order to understand that Vedanta, you may pray, that is a different matter. But the topic of Vedanta is not a prayer or worship or a ritual or anything. It is talking about the factuality of one's existence. Man is not used to thinking about his existence. He thinks about his form, he thinks about his mind, he thinks about his desires, he thinks about his pleasures, he thinks about various things, thinks about objects. Anything that is objectifiable, anything that is it is available for memory, he keeps on remembering it. And his existence is not an object of memory. It's not an object of memory. It illumines all memories. Your existence illumines all memories. And therefore, we are going to do, to begin with, before we go into the verse of the Ishavasya, we are going to do the fourfold factors called Anubandha Chatushtayam. Anubandha Chatushtayam means seeing, not believing, not taking for granted, but seeing, understanding the contrast between the topic of Karmakanda and the topic of Vedanta. Seeing the contrast between the student of Karmakanda and the student of Vedanta. And seeing the contrast between the sambandha, the relationship in Karmakanda. There it is something to be done, here it is something to be understood. That is the sambandha contrast. And purpose. seeing the contrast between the purpose of Karmakanda and the purpose of Vedanta. The contrast between the topic and the topic is the contrast between the topic and the topic. Number two, the contrast between the student and the student. And the third, the contrast between Sambandha and Sambandha. And the fourth, the contrast between the purpose and the purpose, meaning the purpose of Karmakanda and the purpose of Vedanta. The topic of Karmakanda and the topic of Vedanta. The student of Karmakanda and the student of Vedanta. And the Sambandha, the relationship, there it is something to be done, here it is something to be understood. That is called Sambandha. That is Sambandha. We'll see all these details, nitty-gritty details in time, but first you understand these four things, Anubandha Chatushrayas. Don't take anything for granted, please. A Vedanti should never take anything for granted. You should neither be a believer nor a disbeliever. That is called Shraddha. Shraddha means neither believing nor disbelieving. You listen to Vedanta to understand what it is. That is Shraddha. That is why Bhagavan says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one who has Shraddha can understand. Shraddha means the one who is not a believer, not the one who takes it for granted. Neither he is a believer nor a non-believer. Neither he is a theist, nor he is an atheist, nor he is an agnostic. He is just really, he listens to verify. He tries to verify in his existence. Because what is evident alone can be verified. If I talk something about heaven, you can't verify it. That cannot be verified. If I say something about an object, it can be verified. If I say there is a tree there, you can go and verify it. What can be verified is the topic here. What can be verified? If you think about God in heaven, you can't verify it. Right now you can't verify it. And what can be verified right now in life is the topic here. Therefore, Veda also, don't be a believer, don't be a disbeliever, don't be anything. Just like a scientist, when he looks at the object, he always sees it as a fact. He doesn't see it as a matter of belief or as a matter of faith. He says it is a matter of understanding. And therefore, just as a physical fact is considered empirically as a fact, Vedanta also is talking about a conscious fact. A conscious fact is one's own existence. A conscious fact. Just as the forms are factual, objectifiably factual. They are objectifiable. And now what Vedanta says is human problem is identifying his conscious identity with the form. That is called adhyasa. Adhyasa means atasmin tad buddhihi, meaning seeing what is there as something different from what it is. You are not seeing what is not there. You are seeing what is there as different. You are seeing your existence to be the form. You are not seeing the embodiment that is not there. You are seeing the unembodied presence of your being as embodied. What is there? You are not seeing the non-existent snake as existent. You are seeing the existent rope as snake. Please understand this very well. You can't see what is not there. You can only see what is there. You can't mistake what is not there. You can't see what is not there. You can only see what is there differently. If you take the world, if you think that you are seeing the world that is not there, you are wrong. You are seeing your existence that is there as the seer of the form. Then you are seeing what is there as differently. You are seeing your existence, the unlimited, as limited. That is called the error. This is called the self-error. And therefore, human problem is self-error. And that human problem is corrected by Vedanta, Upanishads. Vedanta corrects the human misconception. Karmakanda is full of rituals. They try to gratify your desires for pleasures. But after every pleasure, you want another pleasure. After every second pleasure, you want the third pleasure. Even after a billion pleasures, you want one more pleasure. Why? Because by adding a pleasure cannot make you unlimited. Whereas the Shruti says, by nature you are unlimited, and your misconception is that you are limited. And that unlimited nature of your conscious identity is being shown, is being pointed out by the Shruti. In that sense, the Shruti is a pramanam. Shruti is not something just because it says it's right. No. What is true, it points out. Just as you point out the Arundhati Nakshatram. You take the help of a branch and then you point out Arundhati Nakshatram or a moon, a line of a moon, a thin line of a moon. After Pratipada, the moon is very thin. And you see that. You point it out. You don't create the moon. You don't create the Arundhati Nakshatram. You only point it out. In that manner, the Shruti only points out the self-evident conscious being. And consciousness by nature, it is unlimited because everything falls within conscious identity. And therefore, consciousness is one's nature. A living being is by nature consciousness. Every living being, living means its conscious nature, is a conscious being. And within that conscious being falls both life and its negation. And therefore, consciousness is the nature of a human being. And that is only pointed out by Vedanta. And Vedanta is a pramanam in that sense, as a pointer of Vedanta, pointer of the truth. It only points out the truth. And Ishavasya sarvam. See, now I have to tell certain things because to build up Upanishads for the people, I have to take some steps to explain away some terminology. Viveka. We keep using the word Viveka. Viveka means discerning, seeing the difference that is already there. I don't have to separate. There are already other things, like I don't have to separate the snake from the rope. I see the difference between snakeness and ropeness. That is called Viveka, discerning between the error and the fact. The error is correctable, the fact is not correctable. It is a fact. Similarly, consciousness happens to be uncorrectable, and the idea about consciousness is correctable. Thus, seeing the discerning between the incorrectable, the fact and the error is what is called Viveka. So whenever I use the term Viveka, you have to understand, it is not bifurcating, it is not dividing, it is seeing the division that is there. It is seeing the dissimilarity that is there between the truth and the creation. There is only dissimilarity, but there is no division. See, this also I have to explain to you. You have to understand very minutely this particular point. Between the truth, between God and the universe, there is no division. They are not parallel to each other. They are not parallel to each other. They are unlike each other, but not parallel to each other. This particular thinking must be done by you. They are only dissimilar, not parallel. Like the wave and water are not parallel to each other. They are unlike each other. Waterness is different from waveness. Waveness has as something, it grows and dies. It can be added, it can grow bigger and smaller, etc. But waterness remains the same. Waterness remains waterness. Whereas waveness is different. Seeing the difference between the two, dissimilarity between the two. But they are not divided. Wave and water are not divided. They are only dissimilar but not divided. They are not parallel to each other. In the same manner, Parameshwara and this universe are not parallel to each other. Parallelness is what is called Dvaitam. But Vedanta points out nothing is parallel to your existence. Even our body is not parallel to your existence. It is also a view about the same truth. It falls within the realm of the truth. You are not, nothing is parallel to your existence. Everything is unlike you, but not other than you. This is what is pointed out by Shruti. In that sense, Shruti is a pramana. Everything is unlike consciousness, but not other than consciousness. This is enough for today. For their wait, can wait for some time. Can wait for some time.
Yes, yes.
I'm not used to talking online. When I'm not used to talking online, I'm always used to talking with people. Now there are no people whom I can see, and therefore I'm talking to you. You are somewhere in the world. I am somewhere. आप कहीं, मैं कहीं, क्या करूं? But still I have to talk to you. See, the topic is the same whether I talk online or I talk directly, please. The topic is the same. The topic is yourself. You are the seeker, you are the sought. Hamara Guruji used to say, your existence ununderstood, you are a problem. Your existence understood, you are the solution. What a beautiful statement, see. You are the problem and you are the answer. And Vedanta also says the same thing. You are the topic. You are the destination. You don't have to reach anywhere. That you don't have to reach anywhere is called Vairagyam. If this is understood, that you don't have to reach anywhere, you don't have to become anything, you don't have to modify anything, you don't have to become anything, you don't have to reach any place, you don't have to possess anything. Your consciousness is unlimited by itself. The 10th man doesn't have to become anything. The 10th man doesn't have to become a 10th man. He is already the 10th man. Therefore, he has to only recognize that he is the 10th man. In the same manner, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to remove the snake. I have to understand that it is not the snake, it is the rope. Similarly, here, you don't have to become anything. That is called Vairagyam. You don't have to reach anything. That is called Vairagyam. You don't have to possess anything to be unlimited. That is called Vairagyam. When you have Vairagyam, the Vedanta works on you. Without Vedanta working on you, you are useless. If Vedanta doesn't work on you, even if you become a billionaire, so what? Tatah kim, tatah kim. So what? So what? If you don't really discern between your existence and your form, then it's nothing. Then whatever you have, it is non-eternal. It is an error. Non-eternity is one thing, erroneousness is another thing. It is first an error, and then every error looks like limited. Every object is an error, and it is limited. The limitation is an error about the unlimited, the truth, which is your existence. And therefore, Shruti only points out your unlimitedness. When Shruti points out your unlimitedness, in that sense, the Shruti is a pramana. As the pointer out of the truth, it is a pramana. It is a means of knowledge. Yes, I do repeat sometimes, but repetition is required. Abhyasa. Abhyasa is one of the Shadlingas. It is not repetition, it is emphasis. Understand, I am only emphasizing. In order to emphasize, sometimes you have to repeat. And therefore, you don't think that I am repetitive or something. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I only put emphasis on certain points, which you have to remember. It is not something an objectifiable topic. It is your existence, like silence. You can't think of silence. You can only be silent. Sound and silence are not parallel. Think of it. You're all educated, G. You're all very highly educated. You should be able to understand this point. Is sound and silence, are they both parallel to each other? The sound takes place in silence and resolves in silence. And that silence is not another object. There are only five. There are form, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In the silence is not a part of creation. Silence is a part of the source. And the Shruti points out that source is the what? That silence thou art. Silence is not absence of sound. Silence is presence of silence, presence of your being. Of course, the sound takes place in silence. It doesn't qualify silence. It doesn't qualify silence. This is what you have to understand. It takes place in silence. Sound takes place in silence, but it doesn't qualify silence. It doesn't qualify silence means the heard sound doesn't qualify the hearer, your being. It doesn't qualify it. It doesn't qualify you. This is what is called, there is dissimilarity, but there is no division. Thus, the dissimilarity is what is called the Vailakshanyam in Sanskrit. There is no division means there is ananyatvam, ekatvam of your being. One is Vailakshanyam, there is Vailakshanyam, but there is no Dvaitam. There is dissimilarity, but there is no division. Just as sound and silence are not parallel to each other, consciousness and matter are not parallel to each other. ये बात को समझना जरूरी है. Om Purnamadaha Purna. And we will see the Ishavasya Upanishad later on. Later on we'll see the first verse. I am an elderly person, I am an old man, I can't talk too long. For half an hour, that is enough. Wednesday I will be, there will be a topic on Wednesday. We'll do the Gita, Bhagavad Gita on that day. So half an hour you hear, there is enough material for you to think about. In half an hour I give so much of material. Even to think of this difference, there is only dissimilarity but not a division. आपका नानी याद आ जाएगी. इतना आसान नहीं है. Thank you. And Wednesday we'll do Bhagavad Gita. I hope you will all listen. Yes, I know you will all listen. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.